Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome to Healing with Hila. This is your space for aligning, expanding, and reconnecting with who you truly are. I'm your host, Hila Kedem Ferguson. I'm a transpersonal hypnotherapist, manifestation coach, and sound creator. Thank you so much for inviting me into your life. Hello, my beautiful souls. I am excited and so curious about today because I honestly don't really know what we're going to be doing. Guidance has told me that they would like to speak again through me. They would like for me to do a channeling session for us again during our podcast. And when I tried to ask what it was about, what questions should I ask, they told me to let it go. And I'm laughing because the lesson that they've been teaching me a lot lately is the lesson of flow and overwhelm. I've been dealing a lot with just overwhelm, feeling like I have so much to get done, so much is on my plate. And through our recent vacation, I really was able to gain more pieces to help me understand this energy a little bit more and to give me a little bit more clarity. They reminded me that every subject that we really are looking at is two subjects. It's the polarity of whatever it is. And when I looked at overwhelm, flow was sitting on the other side of it. And they were telling me that the reason why I'm navigating through this lesson right now is so I can learn the other side of the stick. So I can learn the other side of the polarity, which is flow. If I get very familiar with the feeling of overwhelm, then I can get very familiar with the other side. And what does flow really mean? When I was in the waters, they kept showing to me what flow means to the ocean. They showed me that it's constantly moving, that it's never stagnant, that it has to adjust its movement. It has to adjust the way that it's being in order to sustain and hold on to all the water that comes to it through the rain, all the pieces that it has to hold, all the pieces that are floating on it, all the animals that are living within it. There has to be a sense of flow. If there wasn't an ebb and a flow, if there wasn't movement, the ocean would not be able to exist the way that it does. And they showed me that in order to hold on to the pieces that we really care about, we have to bring in flow. We have to be willing to ebb and flow. We have to be willing to adjust. We have to be in movement. We have to be in motion. And a lot of it ties into trust, into moving into something and knowing that you will be guided and navigated towards whatever it is that's in your highest good if you are maintaining that sense of flow. And when I was scanning today and trying to get an understanding of what it is that I'm supposed to bring forward for you guys, my guidance kept saying, this is a lesson in flow. If you move in to this ocean, into this current, and trust that it's going to lead you in that highest good, you don't necessarily need to know the direction right now. You can just come in and be willing. You can just come in and just say, I'm going to allow myself to flow through this and just notice what magic comes through. And it was a really interesting perspective because I really recognized that control and the need to control something also sits on the other side of flow. That trying to control how big the wave is going to be or in what rate they're going to come in and out will not allow the ocean to be in the flow of receiving the way that it does, because it doesn't know when the next rain is going to come. It doesn't know when the next, whale is going to splash. It doesn't know. It has to be in a state of flow, and it has to be in a state of fully releasing control. So here we are. I have released control. I don't really know what guidance wants to bring forward. I do know that it's again specifically the guidance that calls themselves Orion's Council that would like to bring forth information for us and for humanity at this very moment. And so I'm allowing myself to lean into this gift that I have and feeling into the vacuum that surrounds us whatever it is that humanity is needing from me to bring forth on this platform, and trusting that it will reach whoever needs to hear it in their highest good. And with that, I am going to just give them the stage. I am hoping to get a little bit better at recording this. I've never really done this live like this since our last podcast when I did a channeling for us. And so we'll see how it rolls. It's going to be the easiest for me to speak as if they are speaking versus trying to translate it in the right verse because it requires way too much conscious intervention on my behalf and it makes it harder to deliver the messages. And so I'm just going to let them speak through me. Thank you so much for starting the episode speaking about the place of flow and where it stands in relationship to overwhelm and control. It's a lesson that many people will benefit understanding because it's an energy that many of you on this planet run often. You are all walking around as if you are holding a tray above your head. And as things get piled on your tray, you feel the pressure and the stress and the weight of it. And eventually the tray gets so full and the weight gets so heavy that you are no longer able to move through your life in the way that you are supposed to. And we are here to tell you that the way you are handling this workload is not in your highest good and best interests. There is a better way to walk through life that will allow you to handle those things in a much better way. Like our friend was just saying, take a lesson from your waters, take a lesson from your oceans and your seas. They manage a lot. It is a whole planet of itself. The depth and the life that run within it is beyond your comprehension. And yet it's its own world able to manage. And its biggest law is flow. It operates and governs under the laws of flow. Even though your earth governs and operates under that law of gravity, your oceans do not. Not a lot of you stop and pause and think about this law of gravity that you operate under as your truth, and then take a moment and think about that truth inside the water. And so, even those laws that you walk around on this planet thinking that are immovable, that you cannot change, shift, or move, are incorrect. I know that many of you would be asked the question, do you believe in the law of gravity? And you would laugh at us saying, what do you mean believe? It is here. There is nothing to believe in. But we tell you, go in the water. And all of a sudden, the law of gravity disappears and the law of flow begins. That was just a side note. There is nothing on this planet that you cannot achieve or move against. If you wish, one of them is the law of gravity. Back to our lesson about flow. And so the world of your sea, the world of your water, because indeed it is a world of its own, is governed by the law of flow. And the law of flow simply states that everything is in motion, nothing is ever constant, everything is always moving. And within that movement, there is peace. And when you are aligned with the law of flow, all feels possible. The expansion that happens when you align with the law of flow is beyond your wildest dreams. It's the same as the expansion that you feel when you look at your waters. It's the same as you stare at the horizon of your sea and notice the curve of the earth. And it allows you to remember why you are here and the task of expansion that you took upon yourself to achieve. And so we want you to take a little bit of that law and infuse it into your life because you are water. And even though you think you operate under the law of gravity, you actually operate under the law of flow a lot more, because you are not matter, you are vibration, you are not solid, you are sound and frequency. And so we want you to really understand that when you try to walk through life operating under a law that doesn't really serve your becoming who you really are, it will crush you. It will hold you so tethered that you will be unable to move in the direction that you are meant to, that you would be unable to expand in the way that you wished to expand in this world, in this planet. We want you to remember that you are more flow than gravity. And so our dear friend is asking us, well, what does that mean for us in our normal day-to-day life? What kind of advice can you give my listeners? Can you give anybody that's receiving this information on how to actually put it into action? What does that mean? And so to that, we will answer with some of the exercises that we've given our friend. When you feel like you are holding that tray and the world keep piling on it, and you know that feeling very well. That is the feeling of overwhelm. That is the feeling of stress. That is the feeling of pressure being put upon you. You know that feeling. We invite you to imagine yourself holding that tray and all the things piled on top of it. And we invite you to imagine yourself instead standing in the center of the sea or the ocean, watching rain being swallowed by the waves. Watch as the waves begin to ebb and flow, increase and decrease their speed and ferocity as they hold on to the water. And how good it feels for the ocean to drink back those pieces and in turn adjust the way that it moves. By simply just doing this exercise, by simply just connecting with this visual, with this imagery, with this feeling, you will begin to remind your body that you are more law of flow than law of gravity. Inviting you to connect to the waters that surround you through pool, bath, shower, even putting your feet in a bucket of water. So you may again remember that you are more flow than gravity. When Isaac Newton got hit in the head with an apple and came up with the law of gravity, I forgot to look at the leaf floating gently down, because the leaf in that very moment represented the law of flow, the apple, the law of gravity. It forgot to watch the ebb and flow of the ocean, where things don't move in that way. There is a bigger law that moves through you under the umbrella of the constant laws, the law of the universe, the law of attraction, lies the law of flow. And it is something that is very unique for this planet, just like the law of gravity. And so embrace this lesson. When you feel like your day is being overwhelmed with a list of tasks and to-dos, it's an indicator to you that you are not moving in flow. And pause and ask, where do I need to do more of? Where do I need to do less of? How can I be the ocean wave in this very moment? How can I adjust my flow so this feels better? And then, like we mentioned in the beginning, notice where you sit in control and where you sit in trust. What side of the stick are you on? And adjust. Because with flow comes trust, and with overwhelm comes control. We are so beyond grateful that our friend is speaking to you about this very subject. Remember, you are more flow than gravity. And with that, we are complete about this. Okay, well, I'm going to take a little pause over here because that was so interesting and so unexpected. And holy jamoly, you guys, like seriously, they have given me the lesson of flow, but I've never seen it being compared to gravity. and spoken to as a law, that was mind blowing. I'm gonna need some time to integrate this for myself. I feel the presence of the council very much still, and there's another piece that they would like to speak to us about. And so let's open up to this next piece and see what they would like to share. And so I feel a lot of laughter right now, and they're telling me that they want to move to the fun piece. They want to talk about fun as a motivator. When you choose to incarnate onto planet Earth and operate through physical human bodies, you carefully chose your emotional system and many other pieces that will support your journey here. One of the pieces that you chose to experience is what you call fun. And fun is an interesting energy because it does not necessarily sit in emotion and it's not necessarily sit in action. Allow yourself a moment to just ponder and feel into the word fun. Fun is not funny, but it could be. Funny could be fun. When you are born into this life and you start on in your early childhood years, fun is your main motivator. There is a current that runs within you that leads you to achieve the things that give you the feeling of fun. Fun is a very, very strong frequency that you embedded into your bodies prior to coming here and after being born, and you intentionally woven that into your early years as the main motivator of your life. You also knew that that piece could get forgotten. Just like when you come here, you are much more of a sponge connected to the ethereal realms around you. You are a vast computer connecting and collecting information. You also came wired with fun. And fun sits on a very similar energy that divine connection sits on. And therefore, as a young child, divine connection is very open, soul is very free. We see, know, hear the things around us before consciousness completely shut them down and chose to put them in the basket of irrelevant and therefore not bring it into your reality. Fun was your main motivator. It was the filter in which reality came to you. If it was fun, you wanted to do it. And if it was not fun, you did not. And we are here to come to tell you to bring that back. We are here coming to tell you that just like divine connection, this piece was not supposed to be forgotten and left behind. Just like divine connection, the sifting that your consciousness did at that time, where it placed it as irrelevant and put it to the side, and in turn placed other pieces and said that they were more relevant and therefore our reality, it did so with fun. And we are here to tell you that those pieces that you have called in that were not in alignment with divine connection and fun are no longer supporting you. And it's time for you to choose differently if you would like to feel better. You are listening to this podcast, you are listening to this because you have already opened up to your divine connection. You will not be listening to this words in this very moment if your search to divine connection was not active. You will not be hearing these words if your connection to divine was not already going. And your willingness, your conscious willingness in seeing the divine in your life, feeling those pieces come to you is open, or these words will have not reached you. And because you are in that space, we are here to tell you that fun goes hand in hand with it. Fun needs to be worshiped just as your connection to the divine. Fun needs to be a priority, just like your connection to spirit and your soul and the divine. Fun needs to be a priority, just like you prioritize meditation and quiet time. We are here to tell you that that energy is important. The reason why you've embedded this feeling to be the leading voice for you when you were younger is because this feeling comes hand in hand with a sense of alignment. There is absolutely no way you can have fun and not be in alignment. The two can never exist. Ever, never. You will never, ever be in a state where you experience fun. And we say fun and not joy for a reason. It's a different frequency. Feel into that word. Fun. Fun is important. That word is important. Not joy, fun. Joy is deeper, joy is more emotional. Fun sits right there on the cusp of feeling and physical. It is and needs to be the motivator in your life. We ask you to bring that back. We ask you to look at the children in your life around you and see how fun motivates them. And we ask you to bring that more for you and definitely encourage that in them. Definitely notice the role that you hold because fun is alignment. Fun is divine connection. Fun is where the magic sits. And like we said to you, there has not been a moment in your life where you have experienced the energy of fun and were not in full alignment with your soul. The two cannot exist unless they are together. And so our friend is asking us to give more clarity around the process of losing that. There's a there's a shaming that happens. And we say you as a collective, we know it's not every one of you. But not only you have suppressed this energy, you've condemned it. Not only you have disconnected from it, you put it in the bad corner. We want you to feel into this for a moment. We want you to look through the eyes of the collective adults, and what they look at and think of it when it comes to fun. You look down onto it. It is an energy that needs to be suppressed. It is an energy that doesn't go hand in hand with maturity. You operate under so many false premises. This idea of what maturity looks like, of what adulthood looks like, where in turn, what's measuring maturity is the ability to move into alignment. So there's a lot of young bodies around you that teaches maturity more than many of the adults that surround you. Our friend is asking us about fear of fun, and she is right to say that. She has noticed in her work with people that there's a fear of fun. The fear is coming because of the pain of the absence of it. We're going to explain it a little more. Fun to a child is like breath. And when fun is being pinched off, it is if their oxygen is being pinched off. And when fun is flowing, it is if their breath is flowing and everything is working. We build mechanism of fear to keep us protected from the absence of something that we really need. So we are going to be afraid diving underwater very deep without an oxygen tank because the lack of breath will cause our body to die. And so the fear has been placed to keep us safe and protected from experiencing the lack of something. The fear has been placed because fun is like oxygen. And if I place the fear over here, then I will stay protected. I will stay protected in the absence of it. And we are here to tell you to rewrite the story, to move around that, to remove and release the fear and know that, trust that this energy is here for you, that it is part of who you really are. This is a piece just like the breath and the oxygen that you breathe and fuels your body is going to be here for you until you choose to cease existing in your physical body. Many of you knew that your society condemns and looks down at this energy being maintained into adulthood. And therefore, in order to protect you from the absence of that flow, from the absence of it, You've placed fear. And we are here again to tell you that it's time to let it go. The fear is no longer protecting. You are being pinched off from one of the most important energies that you came here to experience. And so, our task to you, our solution to you is go where the fun is. Go where the fun is. Let fun be the vibration that leads you forward. If it's fun, do more of it. If it feels fun, ask for more. Lead with that. Let the universe show you how fun things can get. And with that, we are complete. We just wanted to take a moment and thank you all for being here, for listening. We want to thank our friend for letting us speak through her. Those two pieces were very important and needed to be born and come through into physical reality. And we are so immensely grateful that the stage was here for it. We have great love for this planet. We have great, great love for all of you. And we are truly here to bring forth pieces of light so you get to maintain more balance on your planet. Wow, okay, you guys, this was fun. I did not expect that piece either. That was really enlightening. And again, I'm going to need to sit with everything and really integrate it. It felt very, very exciting to be able to bring forth this information for you. I'm going to do very minimal editing for our podcast, really just myself repeating some sentences, trying to get the information out of my mouth. But other than that, everything is going to be pretty much a live channel. I really hope that you've enjoyed the space with me today. I know I have. This was so incredible for me. And again, pieces that I'm definitely going to be journaling about and allowing some space and time to integrate because this is truly the first time I've been getting them into a conscious state. And so, just like you guys receiving the information and now just letting it trickle and process it for myself. And I know that more pieces will continue to come for me, and I will continue to teach you all about that. I really hope that, again, this got to you in that perfect, perfect, divine aligned time. That you're going to be able to take forth with you those pieces about flow and fun and truly messages that felt so important to bring forward. Thank you so much for being my reason to do this. I really appreciate this. And you, thank you for joining me. And thank you for inviting me into your lives. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Healing with Hila. If you'd like to explore more, join our amazing community on Patreon for my Midnight Thoughts, exclusive podcast, and so much more. Thank you so much for inviting me into your life. So much love your way.